machine standing right alongside him.
Alien invasion or hoodle doers? Let's get into it.
Yet needed be so. Cannot swords be turned to plowshares? Can we and all nations not live in peace? In our obsession with antagonisms of the moment, we often forget how much unites all the members of humanity. Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
What is going on over the skies of New Jersey, New York, and Pennsylvania? Is it really an alien invasion where aliens just show up between the hours of 6 and 11 p.m. just over certain restricted airspaces? Or is there something else going on, something that is above even the president? Could it be a black op project? Well, we're going to dive into this, and I am going to reveal to you what I get in my psychic sleuth or remote view. So here we go. When we are looking at the energy in the world, we have to be able to discern or tease through what is real and what is not real. And it's a good reminder that as we are operating in the wild west of mass communication, that we don't allow what happened in the 1930s with Orson Welles' War of the Worlds happen today. And I'm going to share with you some things that might tie that in. But we're going to go in way deeper, and it gets really weird from here. But let's start with Orson Welles. Here we go. Now, if you remember, he ignited a worldwide panic, and he had to go and explain himself. Orson Welles did a show, War of the Worlds, in the 30s and broadcast it as though it were news. It was just a show. But people tuning in late did not know it was just a show about how aliens from Mars were taking over the planet. Oh no, they missed all that. And so what happened was they got news briefs. It was actually a show, but they took it literally. And this is how panic just ignites. So we all need to take a deep breath and say, is this a deep fake? Is it a show? Is it black budget? Yeah, there's a lot of things going on here. We're going to tease it out, but first take a look at this.
Were you aware of terror at the time you were giving this role? Were you aware that terror was going on throughout the nation?
It created quite a buzz, and it didn't just happen in New Jersey. It was nationwide, and in fact, worldwide. But let's stay on target here. That video was captured in New Jersey. It's hitting social media like crazy, and the claim is made that that's what they're seeing at night. Well, if that's the case, you can see what the old Ospreys looked like and what this looks like. It almost looks like a reinvention of the Osprey. Much newer, sleeker, and smaller. Drone size, if you will. But now we begin to see these type of quote, drones in the sky. Let's take a look.
You know, when things like this are happening, it seems everyone starts to look up, like my crew and I have been here in Mendham recording this video that you're looking at right now. We have no idea what it is, if it's a natural phenomenon, because it could be, but this is why so many municipalities are now asking people to reach out and send their videos to them or to experts who might be able to sort out what they're seeing in the skies. But I guarantee there are so many people looking up and making those recordings because this mystery is one that needs to be solved. For now, we're live here in Mendham Borough. Tony Yates, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Let's take the next step and take a look at this one.
As a journalist, I didn't pay it much credence. I thought it would turn out to be a bunch of pranksters and this would all be over by now. The experience I had last night, however, changed the way I feel about this story completely. What I saw was more sophisticated than I ever imagined. Take a look.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, at least 5.
All right, let's stop there for just a moment. There's something else I want to share with you too. Hold on. Pausing the video for just a brief moment to give you a comparison between an airliner and the mysterious drone. Note the lights. You have green on one side, red on the other. That is FAA required.
6 lights? I didn't believe what I was seeing. But what was I seeing? We're here in central Jersey. We've been looking for the past hour. I think we've seen about 40 or 50 of these drones. In fact, there's one over my shoulder right there. One after another, these drones appeared in the night sky. If you look real close, they look like fixed-wing aircraft, about 8 to 10 feet wide, colorful, white blinking lights.
That is not a plane.
Definitely not an airplane, but what was it? Hours earlier, I was invited to join the Ocean County Sheriff Department. They launched their own drones to see if they could intercept the mysterious aircraft New Jersey residents have been reporting in recent weeks. The department says these mystery drones evade detection because they don't give off heat like regular drones. Why do you think that is?
We don't know. It's just something that we haven't, it's not something that we've had our hands on. It's not something that we've experienced.
Something they hadn't experienced until now. One of their officers called 911 after seeing 50 of them come off the ocean.
Advised after we made contact with that officer that there were 50 that came off the ocean.
50?
50. That was my reaction also. There were 50 that were coming off the ocean.
And this is a sworn officer?
A sworn officer, yes. We contacted state police, we contacted the FBI, we contacted the Coast Guard, at which point the Coast Guard went out with their boat and they reported seeing 13 following their boat. And then the Coast Guard also advised that they went over them about 300 feet and had a wingspan of about 8 feet.
I see one right here. Did I see the same thing that officer saw? I'm still not sure. What I can show you is this video. What I can tell you is I've never seen anything like it before.
Well, here we are. Even the officials are confused what's going on in our skies. And we're left with observing just orbs and scaled down drones that look like ospreys. So if it is a black ops project, it would make sense that our officials might not know what's going on. In fact, that would be so classified it would be even above the president. So it could be said that President Biden truly doesn't know what's going on. But the black ops projects don't normally test themselves over population centers. So another interesting note that is going to grab you, and that is Clif High. And then we're going to move on to what else has been said. Let me explain. Clif High is an American computer programmer known for creating the WebBot project, a software tool designed to predict future events by analyzing language patterns on the internet. Clif High described the Joe Rogan-Donald Trump interview as a significant temporal marker that would signal the transition into what he calls sci-fi world. This marker was forecasted by his data models back in 2009, well before Joe Rogan podcast became widely popular, or even Trump entering politics. 39 days to melee. Post-interview, Clif High's models suggested that 39 days after this event, some form of melee or conflict would begin, potentially related to UFOs or military engagements, which would usher in or highlight this new sci-fi world era. Although there were just 23 days between the Donald Trump Joe Rogan podcast and the first sighting November 18th, I would say that this bot prediction placed back in 2009 is pretty impressive. Well, we can't talk about Clif High and his 2009 prediction without jumping ahead to 2018, when the internet became abuzz with the 17th letter of the alphabet and what he was posting on the back channel, he, she, they. First of all, let's get some clarity to what this entity was. This entity claims to be a high-level government insider with a 17th letter of the alphabet clearance, which is security clearance level used by the U.S. Department of Energy for access to classified information related to nuclear weapons. According to the Post, 17th letter of the alphabet is allegedly part of a secretive group within the U.S. government working to expose corruption and bring about justice against the supposed nefarious hoodle-doers. This is the identity the 17th letter of the alphabet has presented in their communications. The Anons were just people on the back channel trying to figure out and decode what he was trying to say, or they. It's understood there's less than 10 of them. Some in the military, some not. So beyond that, we really don't know. But it is interesting to note, and how it ties into the potential drone activity today, is that back in April 21st, 2018, there were 2 posts. EO, which usually stands for executive order. Treason, update, read, study the EOs, follow the pin. EO post pin pics, connect, learn, sky event. And of course I have to avoid saying the 17th letter of the alphabet. Follow the pin was Catherine Herridge, just so you know. Again, on April 21st, 2018, another post, sky event, watch the news, learn, sky event. Moving forward to May 11th, 2018, think sky event, define, con, control. And then moving to May 12th, 2018, sky event, watch the skies. Let's take a moment and sum up on what we know, and then let's apply the remote viewing. And at the end, we'll talk about what you can do to get into tune with what's going on so you are not misled. So what we know so far is that these events, or these drones, started to appear on November 18th, and they've been appearing ever since. We also have seen photos and heard what sounds like prop wash. Does it look like an osprey or a scaled down new osprey? That's a question you have to ask. Also, why is it being cloaked? Is it new technology? Is it much like the B-1 bomber that we all thought was a UFO that turned out to be our own technology? But here's the thing, even applying that logic. When you look at the black operations, when they begin to test it, they don't generally operate it over large population centers. Or maybe do they? After all, there was the Phoenix Lights. Nobody's ever concluded what that was. Was that a black op operation? That was a hologram? Or was it a real alien floating overhead? That was a mile-wide UFO. And it was silent. So I think we can take off the table that it's alien in nature, these drones. Now, I think what we can safely assume is that this is advanced technology being used. Is it coming from our own government? Is it coming from a foreign government who has nefarious designs? Is it coming from somebody that is rogue in our own government? And if that's the case, are they using it for good, or are they using it for naughty? So that's what the remote view is going to tell us, or at least give us some indication. So let's take a look. While still speaking in code, when there is a body of people who are trying to create a change or take control of a population, the problem is created and action is done, and the people trying to take control come up with the solution. Why do they do that? To make that population dependent upon them. So where do I land in my remote view? That this is a clandestine group of people who are trying to find the weaknesses in the population. And how much can you be fearful? It does have a sense that it is a test to see how the population is going to react. Where Orson Welles did it by accident, this is a lot more intentional. I do feel that the technology is a very sophisticated osprey, and it actually may have alien technology on it. Now, why they're doing it beyond that? Because they are trying to prevent a celebration that's going to take place on January 20th. Because they know when that takes place, the nefarious hoodle-doers are likely going to end up on permanent vacation on an island south of Florida. So we'll just leave it at that. Sorry I have to speak in code. I'm sure you pick it up. Now, how you figure out if you're being told the truth, all you need to do anytime you're listening to a news feed or information, just close your eyes, take in 3 deep breaths, and calm down that autonomic nervous system, and just listen to the words. Your body will tighten, which means you're being told a lie. Your body will get light, and that means you're being told the truth. The power is in your hands. You do not have to succumb to fear. All this is to see how fearful you can be and how much you're going to react to it, and then how much you're going to beg for them to come in and give you a solution. They are trying to figure out, are they going to say it's alien, or are they going to say it's Russia or Iran or some other country? But what they're looking for is for the population to come to them and beg, fix this problem. And we are done being lied to. We're going to be sitting back watching, you know what? I think we're done. I think you can take your little game and take it someplace else. Because you know what? I am no longer fearful. So, if you want to start getting in charge, I always tell everybody, see what power you hold within yourself. Go on my website, sallyknott.com. There is a homepage there. There's a video on how to dissolve clouds. And when you get out there and start dissolving clouds yourself, when you can dissolve something of matter through attention and intention, you're going to discover how powerful you are. And with that, all I can say is let's start igniting the superhuman in you. Thanks for watching.